One. Wow, the timing actually worked. We're live now.
That was good.
That
Good
was
job.
impressive. Thank you. Oh, welcome to Bardic Tales.
Welcome to Bardic Tales.
Welcome to Monday.
Monday. And we're only 3 minutes late.
As is our custom.
Good
Well,
job.
Thank you. I've taken to when I post about it that join us at 6:30-ish.
Ish, yeah.
Because
6:30, unless we don't.
I know us.
Yeah, right. Let's see. And yay, Bardic Tales is live.
Okay, it is working.
So far, so good.
Not for mine.
Is it just, what does yours say? I'm just really curious. This video is unavailable with restricted mode. Oh, okay. We'll have to change that one later. Sorry, sweetheart.
Okay,
It's
why?
for your own protection.
Okay, why?
Leave your phone down here. Go clean your room.
Okay, well,
why?
Thank you.
Goodness
Oh, we've
sakes.
got two
Okay.
people.
Well, one people.
One. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a people too.
Hi, people. All right.
So, this is new. We don't typically
Yes.
have our beverages
Seltzer
in.
water that.
I wasn't going
bottles,
to use the S
but-
word.
Well, no,
but-
it's okay. Sparkling water
Bottles.
bottles
Yeah.
filled with stuff.
Yeah,
So
very high pressurized stuff. This
yes,
is-
I know I can't squeeze the bottle at all.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, Glenn's people too.
hi, Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, people. All right, so would you like to talk about your drink tonight?
Yes, I am drinking my version of Sila from Pravda Brewing in Ukraine. I brewed this one about a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago,
Oh
actually.
no, it's been
Yeah,
at
week and a half.
least.
Because it wasn't this last Thursday, it was the Thursday before that.
Was it?
Yeah, so week and a half,
Wow.
and here you have it.
Wow,
So
that's fast.
yeah, so this is my version of that one. It is a Belgian Saison, and it is all kinds of pressurized. We'll see if I can do this without making an absolute mess.
I want to go grab a towel.
I'm a professional.
I'm gonna grab a towel.
Will you just go ahead and bring that towel over here? But I'm professionalizing it here. See how that's working? So great.
Yeah.
Like that,
So,
just like
so great.
It's like magic. You have to do this
Uh-huh.
in order to. Oh, wait, wait for
Apparently
it.
there's some guys
It's a lot of foam.
online that they do magic. And so I saw one of them and they're like dressed like the magicians. They kind of look like modern day Liberace. But they'll like stand at the top of a subway.
Yeah, I
Station?
showed you that the
Oh,
other
you
day.
were the one who showed that
Yeah.
to me. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but finish the
But
story.
okay, so they'll stand at the top of a subway station with like the fancy cloth, like they'll show you nothing's behind them and then hold up the cloth and like wiggle it and make a big showing of it and then drop it right as somebody has walked up the subway. And so that person's like,
Shocked to have been made to appear all of a sudden.
yeah.
Well, this is fresh out of the fermenter. Let's see what we got here. The color right out of the gate is beautiful.
It is.
It's a really nice golden.
Looks like a good carb level too.
Yeah, pretty darn good for ramming it in a seltzer bottle and force carbonating it. It's not terrible here. That smells good. That's good. Got a bit
Yeah.
of bitterness to it, a little bit of citrus going on there. There's a subtle sweetness that gives way to just almost a hoppy dryness at the end. Not a hop bitterness, but a hoppy dryness.
Yeah.
There's a lot of subtle
that's a
things.
lot of subtle complexity.
Yeah, there's a lot of subtle things going on there.
I really get like a wheat
Yes.
note.
Yeah, this one actually does have proper wheat in it.
Yeah.
Most of the beers I make are almost exclusively barley, roasted to some degree or other, or treated somewhat. This one actually has wheat in it.
And it really comes through. I'm reminded of fresh bread.
Yeah, it's really, which is why this thing just has head for days. I mean, this stuff just does not go away. It's got a really bright, white, crisp head that just stays there. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm really proud of this one. It's super duper nice. I'm going to be very proud to serve it. The profits from this are all going straight over to the Ukraine. So
Yep. When will it be on tap?
as soon as we have room. So it's virtually ready now, but our taps are full.
Yeah.
And I've got all kinds of backups. So as soon as it's ready, I would say.
Yeah.
But-
We still need to keg and carbonate it. Like Mark was saying, these We force carbonated these today just to have them on. I was almost about to say on tap, on show tonight.
On air.
On air. So soon.
Yeah. Yep. So I love it. It'll be on as soon as it can. We just rotated on some new kegs, so it'll take a little bit to get through things, and then we'll get there. But
all right. So let's see how difficult mine is.
cider tends to not have as big of an issue
Yeah.
with carbonation. Sometimes it does, but I can smell that from over here. Good grief.
Makes me happy. All right. What I am pouring out of this mystery jug.
That is the perfect carbonation level on that one, too.
That is beautiful. I have been promising this for a very long time. You have patiently excuse me, patiently waited with me even as I choke on my spit and can't actually announce it.
It's okay. You'll be choking for an entire different reason after that one goes down. Yay!
We got more people.
I love more peoples.
This is Zuko. So
not just Zuko. It's like
this
Zuko.
Is Zuko, like season 1 Zuko, where he's just angry all the
Zuko. You should almost call it angsty Zuko. Dare I?
It's a lot hotter this time than it was last time.
It smells spicy.
It does smell spicy.
But you get that ginger smell in there too,
and
which is
the
really
taste
nice.
is there.
Yeah.
It's not just stupid hot.
Although it is. Holy crap.
Okay. I have quite a heat tolerance and I think it's hot. You have
slightly less heat tolerance than you, but that one burns. I could not put down 10 ounces of that.
So this Zuko is going to be for those who enjoy a spicy drink, or you mix it with health potion and you make Fire Lord Zuko. So that's going to bring up the sweetness, pull down on the heat a bit.
It's the only way I'm going to be able to drink that thing.
I'm going to enjoy it.
I mean, that is full of flavor. You're right. That is not just senseless heat. That is packed with all kinds of flavor.
Yeah. It's my apple base. But I take approximately 6 gallons and boil it down to, I think I got it down to 2 gallons.
No, you got this one down to a solid gallon.
Really?
Yeah, you got this one down pretty thick.
Short.
This one was pretty darn thick.
It took forever.
House smelled amazing. Well, the brewing facility smelled amazing. You get the idea.
Yes, the process smelled amazing. And then I put that syrup that's made of the apple juice back into the fermentation, the juice that's fermenting, to boost up the amount of sugar that's in there to boost up the ABV. So this one came out at 10%.
Yep, on the nose.
Then let it ferment, let it settle. Then I added in ginger, and this time I used Carolina Reapers. The reason it's so much hotter than it was last time was because last time I used fresh peppers of a different variety. This time I used dried Carolina Reapers, and I wasn't entirely sure what the ratio was going to be.
You looked awfully sure when you gave me the stink eye when I questioned what you were doing.
No.
It was hilarious. It was one of those endearing moments where it's just like, I love you. Also, you're a little scary. We have friends that can relate, but she had the food processor and she was dumping in all the ginger. I mean, ginger the size of your forearm. This is massive ginger. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
She's dumping all that in. And then I see this bag of Carolina Reapers. Okay.
It was 14 grams.
Yeah. It was a bag of dried Carolina Reapers. And most people in their right minds will take like a Carolina Reaper, bake off a tiny piece of that, and use that to serve like 12 people. I look over and she's taking the whole bag and dumps it in the food processor, just whole, just grind those things up, seeds and all. I just look at her like, are you crazy? She's just like, It's not breaking eye contact. Just that I dare you to be not afraid of me. Look, it was like I'm so attracted and scared of you at the same time. And then you take this fiery red paste and you throw it right on in there. And
It was, yes. I wore gloves.
yeah, obviously.
My fingers tingled the rest of the day, even despite the precaution I did not take,
Was
which
doing it outdoors.
no, it wasn't. That wasn't the problem. The problem was when I tried to clean the food processor. So empty sink. So, and we've got a deep sink. So like I put everything down into the sink and start spraying it out, assuming that the water is going to keep like a lot of that capsaicin spray down. I was very wrong. I'm in the kitchen. So our house has like the kitchen and it's a loop. And over here would be the living room where the kids are. And I'm spraying stuff down and it's all blowing up into my face, into my sinuses. And I start coughing, and which makes me inhale more of it, which makes me cough more. And I'm like to the point that I legitimately thought I was going to throw up from coughing so much. And Wendy like pokes her head in. Are you okay? Yep, honey. Yep. Just coughing. I'm fine.
And then 10 minutes later, I just walk past the sink and I start coughing from how hot it is. That stuff is nightmare fuel right there. But,
Yeah.
but you dilute it down with 30 gallons worth of liquid and
It's fine.
it's still crazy hot. But
If you don't like spicy things, this probably isn't for you. If you enjoy spicy, this is going to be for you because it's not just hot to be hot. It's a balance.
Yeah, it has a lot of flavor heat
Mm-hmm.
going on in there, which is something. The sister of flavor spice.
Yes.
So that's
I'm very pleased with this one. I feel like the carbonation did bring out some more of the ginger and the heat as well, but the ginger too.
I agree. I think you got just the right amount of ginger in there. It's not overly anything. It's just a nice, fresh flavor.
Yeah. My lips are a little tingly and my throat
Mine
is a
are
little
still
warm,
a little tingly.
so-
Yeah.
Zuko plus Saber
Mace
Mace
Windu. Yeah.
Funny you should mention that. Saber of Windu is in the works.
Jeez. Bear spray
That's-
Windu. No.
And they would go so well together.
They really would. They would go phenomenally well together. I think that needs to happen. But
That's-
Zuko is going to go remarkably slow. I think Saber Windu will probably be out in time.
Oh yeah.
That's a brilliant.
Okay.
I love that.
Mace Windu is now on the secret menu, just like Fire Lord Zuko is on the secret menu.
Jeez, that's great.
Phase 2.
Oh, I am back in the beer news department. I forgot to
Yes.
mention this. I am happy to say that I rebrewed Cane Madness.
Oh
this
yeah, we
week,
were
so.
segueing in. This was just what we were.
Oh, this is just what we're
drinking.
drinking. Oh, sorry.
so
Yeah, no. go on.
Talk about brewing.
Yes, so I rebrewed Cane Madness this week, which was it went phenomenally. It took a very long time because I did a ton of stuff.
Oh, what was Brandy's concoction? I would
Oh.
like to very much know this.
Yeah, I would very much like to know that. But it went remarkably well. Got everything finished up, got a ton of it. So this continues the process I've been on of massively stocking up on things. So far, I have a huge amount of, for me, is a huge amount of Ish, Raven Master, What the Dickens, Singularity, and now Cane Madness.
And Silent.
Not a huge amount. I have enough of Sila, but I don't have that big honking amount of that.
Okay, true.
So that's enough to fill our taps for a very long time.
And you're about to make Poirot?
I think that's next on deck. It's either Poirot or
Apple pie a la mode. Oh, do tell.
yeah. This I am liking.
Oh,
this.
is that apple pie mixed with LN6? That sounds like.
Oh, I bet that would. Yeah, I bet that would be good.
That sounds delicious. Anyways,
on deck is either Relics or Poirot. I can't decide which. Where I've got a Belgian coming on, and where I already have Chanterelle Lace, which is a Belgian, and Poirot is a Belgian, I'm kind of thinking I go the Relics route.
do relics and then Poirot.
Yeah, because then Poirot will age an appropriate amount, and then it should be good. So I think Relics is on deck for next week. I'm going to that one. That one's a huge brew. That one takes a very long time to do. So there's just no two ways about that one. That one's going to take a while, but it's going to be awesome and worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Irelix is popular.
Yeah, I have to use 3 mash tuns just to make enough for that one to work.
The one that has the numbers in them. Yes.
Okay.
MD314 and LN6.
MD314 and 6.
Yes.
Nice.
Anything else in the brewing world?
Nothing that particularly stands out right at the moment.
Did you want to talk about the differences with this batch of Cane Madness? Grains.
Oh, this is yes. What? With this particular batch of Cane Madness. So when I first started brewing, professionally and also personally, I very much preferred a style of grain called Maris Otter. It's a very European style of grain. It's generally on the higher quality side of things. There's higher out there, but it's generally regarded as one of the higher quality grains. And it's just got a good old bready, biscuity flavor. It's a very full bodied grain, and I loved it. As time went on, I had to switch away to other options, which were almost as good. They were plenty good enough, but they weren't quite that Maris Otter. And then Cane Madness, being an experiment in its initial iterations, was just, okay, I'm just going to put in the roasted malts, nothing particularly fancy about them. They're just the color they ought to be. And then, of course, all the ton of hops and yeast and everything else like that.
I mean, compared to what you usually do.
Compared to what I usually do, this is true. This go around, however, I finally had the opportunity to get Maris Otter back. And so I've been brewing with that the past few batches, actually quite a few. I got that one back in, and all of the darker malts that give it that really nice reddish, hueish color are all really fine, high quality, specialty malts that all bring their own. This one tastes like biscuits. This one tastes like roasted caramel. This one tastes like toffee.
They're really yummy to eat.
They're really fantastic, even just on their own.
If you follow us on Facebook or Instagram, I posted a picture several days ago of Mark putting grain into a bin, basically, but there's a whole bunch of other bags of grain. Those are the ones that he's talking about. So if you look in that, you can see the different colors.
Yeah, it was just... this one cannot help but be truly fantastic.
So it's like Cane Madness ratcheted up a notch.
Right. Yeah. We might have to come up with something new to describe it. We'll have to rewatch Evolution, come up with a new inside joke.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, oh, darn, right? But it's going to be phenomenal. All the familiar hops are there. All the familiar yeast profiles are there. So it will be recognizable as Cane Madness. It'll just be how you remember it instead of how it actually used to be back in the day, like DuckTales.
Like DuckTales.
Yep.
DuckTales.
Woo.
LD50 and Johnny Fox. I'm not sure.
This could be good too. So the movie Short Circuit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw it when I was about 5.
Oh, we need to rewatch that one too. Yeah.
Because it's the one with the little critter, the little robots that come out, right? And
no,
like at the end.
No, I don't think so. This is about a singular robot who gets struck by lightning and becomes conscious.
Yeah. And I thought at the end he like created little robots.
Oh, maybe he did. Maybe I need to rewatch it. Anyway, he called himself Johnny 5. Who's the name up here? LD50. Okay, yeah, fair. I have no idea, but I'll honor Glenn on that one. He knows more than I know. So
well, like you said, we may need to catch up on nostalgia.
Yeah. I already watched Flight of the Navigator again.
Yeah.
That one it was an old movie, but boy, it doesn't fail to entertain.
We watched the original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Oh,
so we're starting the kids through the MCU. And so now that Spider-Man is officially canonically part of the MCU, we had to start with Tobey Maguire. And I remember when that movie came out, it was 2001.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, because I was in high school. Well, remember they had no, I think it was 2002 because they had the original teaser trailer come out right before 9/11.
Oh, that's right.
And they had to like pull it from everything because it had the
fair.
Twin Towers.
Yeah, which is fair.
Anyways, I remember seeing it and just being like, "Oh my gosh, this is such an amazing movie!" Like I like the action movies and the like disaster movies and stuff, and superhero movies are kind of like an amalgamation of both of those genres. So I was like, wow, this is so good. The graphics are amazing. And then we're watching through it this weekend, and it was like, I mean, for the time, it was really good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
But yeah, those graphics have aged.
They aged a bit, but they weren't bad.
They were not bad.
They still hold up pretty well. They're just
Yeah.
20 years old, which is not terrible. So.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Mood vein?
I'm not sure what that.
Don't particularly know what that means, but
Yeah.
I've got
Sorry.
2 things I need to look up.
Yeah.
This is great.
So, anything else with the beer?
I think that's it in the beer department. What's new in the cider department?
Zuko. So yeah, pressed again this weekend. So I currently have all of my fermenters full.
Yes.
2 of them completely
Like,
full.
Oh, full. Yeah.
So I know that I'm going to be making a really large batch of health potion, which is back on tap. Fair warning, it is young, so it's good. It's going to get better.
Okay. It's all coming together.
Okay.
All right, LD50 is the name of the album. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Now
So-
it's all coming together.
oh, yeah.
So huge batch of health potion, social distancing, or not social distancing, Saber of Windu is absolutely coming back. Up is Down is going to come back. I'm going to take some of what I pressed and split it into 2 15-gallon batches that I'm going to experiment with. So I'm going to get some new flavors.
Hooray for new ciders.
Yay! I think I want to take part of what I have. I need to run numbers and see if I have the juice to do all this. But make Cursed Castle again. So that's the peach fig.
Yeah.
Which I think I talked about last week. But so let's see. 3 of my 5 fermenters are fermenting right now.
Correct. The other 2 are done and chilling.
Yeah, one of them is a current batch of health potion.
No. That's all kegged up and ready.
Yes.
One of them is, I suspect, destined to become health potion, but it is not currently.
One of them was slated for MD,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other one is just waiting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that one is going to be Saber of Windu.
Nice.
And possibly Up is Down, maybe.
Or
And
maybe
then-
just make it all Saber window.
Yeah, I might just do that. I know
Ye-
Lacey would be so excited.
I think you should. I think you should have huge batches of stuff.
Yeah.
So devote one entire fermenter to Saber window, another one to Up is Down.
You're right. I
Another
really
health
should,
potion.
because these small I feel it's a balancing act, because on the one hand, I can make huge batches of singular styles like what we were just talking about, and that would be really good for stocking up. But if I've only got 2 fermenters ready to make batches, then I only have 2 ciders to have on tap, and so it's trying to find that balance. Wendy, you done cleaning your room?
Yes.
Peter's not done with his homework.
Oh.
Thank
I
you.
set a timer.
Oh, why don't you set some music?
But I think
Business ownership and parenting.
and parenting all at the same time.
Hand in hand.
Well, habanero cider could be lots of fun
It
too.
could be fun. I'm going to be doing my cayenne watermelon here
Oh,
soon.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think if you can do a couple of the experiments while creating huge
Yeah.
batches of good stuff.
where all of my fermenters are fermented, I feel like I have a good solid starting point to be able to start doing big batches and keep the
Ball rolling.
quantity of distinct ciders on tap.
Yeah.
So I think I'm in a good place to start that.
Yep.
And the stuff that I was going to pull out was from Lloyd, because I have to make room for the strawberries that go in
There you go.
for health potion. So it's not like I'd be pulling out of one of the other ciders to, bring that level down to a piddly amount.
A piddly
A
60
piddly.
gallons.
Well,
I
have you
s-
seen people drinking health potion?
Yes, I have. It's literally
You
a third of
ran-
everything we sell.
You ran those numbers.
I did run those numbers, so I have to report on alcohol sales, of course, every month. Um, a child's alarm is going off right now.
Oh, it's Peter's, the one you told him to set.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Oops.
And so, as a Star Trek here. But at any rate, as part of that reporting process, I have to calculate exactly how much we've sold by the ounce and everything else like that. And so I'm able to look and see what are the good sellers. And every month I hope that I will do better than cider. And every month I end up laughing at myself because health potion just destroys everything. It is literally a third of everything we sell in that entire tap room. So I'm really proud of that one. I'm proud to have that one around. What you looking for?
It was Wendy's phone, not Peter's.
Oh, well, I have no idea then. They'll figure it out. They're smart cookies.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, health potion is something else entirely. And I forget where else I was going from that. Small batch for us. Depends entirely on whether you're talking about beer or cider. For me, a small batch of beer is going to be around the 45 gallons mark. That's going to make 3 kegs for us, which is good. It lasts a fair bit of time. It's good to introduce to the public, but you can't count on it to be around for too terribly long. For the cider, I would say no.
15.
Yeah.
My when I say a small batch, I'm considering that as 15. That's like a tiny batch. It's 1 keg. It's going to be on for like a week.
Maybe.
Yeah. And it really has to do with the way that we produce. Because for me, I have to go get apples, and I'm at the I'm at the whim of how much juice the apples want to give me. Whereas
Usually you get about 130 gallons,
a press,
give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas you're basically making a grain tea. So if you
Right.
want to shoot for 60 gallons, you just need to have the grain.
Right. I target my batch size. I say I am making this in this size, make it, and there you go. You get in a boatload of apples, you make a ton of cider, and then you decide this shall be this shall be that shall be that.
Well, and I am limited by how much apples we can bring in at a time.
True. Yeah, we don't have a
So-
flatbed truck quite yet, but
Yeah.
nor do we have the ability to actually process that many
Yeah.
quite yet. A few tens of $1,000s more, and we'll be able to pull that trick off.
Yeah. So
yeah.
so when I'm experimenting with flavors, generally, like, I'll have kind of an idea of what flavors go well together and kind of what proportions. I've had enough time playing with the ciders that I currently have that I know, well, if I want it to be sweet, I should add about this much sugar. If I want it to be dry, it needs to go through this process. But this ingredient's going to give a lot of tannin, so I may want to bump a little bit of sweetness in there to balance it, to keep it dry and not like bone dry. So I can usually take 15 gallons and make something that I'm going to be happy to serve, even if it's like, okay, well, next time I want to tweak it this way. But if it's something brand new, like I decide I'm going to do a dragon fruit yerba mate cider, then
Nice.
then I'm going to take
Double dog dare you.
All right. Then I'm going to take like a quart of like a mason jar of cider and put in tiny amounts and tweak it that way to get kind of a guess at ratios.
See if it's even viable.
Yeah, see if it's even viable. Get some kind of guess at ratios and then bump it up to a 15-gallon batch. But like the 15-gallon, if it goes south and I just cannot recover it, that's not a huge deal. But if half of my pressing, because I can only press so often because of how we have to get the apples and the manpower it takes to do a pressing, then if I lose half of one of those pressings, that really hurts.
The law says you can cry over that.
Yes.
Spilt milk is a no-no, but half a batch of cider, that's on the okay list.
Yeah,
so.
The 90 gallons I
that
lost.
one, I cried a little over that one.
Because that one,
that one kind of sucked.
That's
a good idea.
Good question, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, for real. Glenn asks, what would be entailed in getting health potion in the stores? And how not interested in doing that are we right now? So I mean,
Excellent question too.
on the nerdy side of things, on the pencil pusher side of things, we would have to get labels approved. The government insists that what the label you put on the bottle must be approved, which is fine, whatever.
Meet these standards. It's not that difficult.
It's not too tough for beer. Apparently, if you make mead, it's a nightmare. But if you make beers,
poor Mystic Mead is going to do that right
yeah,
now.
they're blazing that trail for us. But the beer is like, meh, it's beer. I mean, here's a witty story about my aunt that one time in Boston or whatever. And, so we'd have to get the labels approved.
Yeah.
But this is cider. Oh, but because it's low enough, it counts as beer. We'd have to figure that one out.
No, I think my cider is bumped up enough that
8% is the limit now.
That's right.
So
it got bumped up to 8.
If we produced it under our beer license, we could go the beer route. So
for the label, not for the production.
The short answer is I have no clue about the label.
But we know that the process is fairly easy once you get into it, and there's people who want to help you with it.
We could sort that out. We would have to produce probably a whole lot more than we're producing right now.
I'd probably have to take at least one pressing every month.
Oh,
and that would be like a limited. It goes to Fred Meyer and Hooch and More, and that are Total Wine.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So I mean, there would be some equipment to get
or borrow.
Or borrow. Yeah. The short answer is it could be done.
Yes.
We
have all the licensing.
Oh yeah. There's no reason we couldn't start that process tomorrow, and see it to fruition shortly
if we wanted to.
If we wanted to. The real problem with that is twofold. That's a huge increase in production when we're trying to increase it for other reasons, like to get our tap room more taps
fleshed out
and everything. But also there's the Bardic has a certain vibe about it, and it's very intentional. People do enjoy what they drink and eat and at Bardic, but they also enjoy the atmosphere. And the instant you put that in a store, you lose the atmosphere. Which isn't an awful thing. People take growlers home all the time, and they thoroughly enjoy it, and it's a wonderful thing. But we want to focus first on our tap room, make sure the environment is really got everything it needs, and only then do we start distribution. And even then, it's only for the sake of advertisement, to get people into the tap room. It has nothing to do with money, because you got to make a whole lot more than we're making in order to make money off of distribution. But it would be a fantastic advertisement. So
it is in our minds.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if sometime next year that becomes a reality.
Agreed.
This year's kind of been the last 2 years, our focus has been survive and deal with the changing environment. Now we're in a more solid footing. So this year our focus is really to get our name out there, to get people into the tap room through events. So that's why we've got an event almost every month this year. And if it's not an event that we're going to like, we just got an email today asking for a donation to the Vanessa Beham Crisis Center. They're doing a fundraiser. I didn't get a chance to actually tell you about this.
I'm not surprised that another event invitation has come in.
But it's really cool. They're doing a growler for the year giveaway, drawing something. I kind of breezed through it and was like, hey, this is a cool organization. But they're reaching out to breweries and asking for gift cards, certificates, whatever, for a growler fill. And so somebody is going to
can do.
Yeah, so somebody is going to win a growler and 12 gift cards to different breweries to fill their growler up.
That's slick.
Yeah. So each month, each month they could go out.
You could totally recycle the growler and go get a ton of pizza.
Oh yeah,
at every
absolutely.
brewery, which is how you fulfill the laws requirements on that one. That is slick. I like that idea.
So yeah, I replied back with like, heck
yeah,
we'll be in on
no,
that.
I think that sounds like a great plan.
anyway, so we're focusing more on that. It's a more face-to-face, getting like Mark was saying, the atmosphere of Bardic out there, because a big tenet of what we're trying to do is create a place for community. And so that's kind of our focus this year.
Mm-hmm.
And then next year, I think once we've got a really solid footing on the tap room, next year would be a really good time to start some distribution, with the idea that that's not going to be our bread and butter. Like it could be, but we'd have to take so much away from the tap room, which is really our passion, that it would kind of destroy Bardic for us.
It's going to be advertising budget.
Yeah,
is all it's going to be.
So it'll look like perhaps getting some of our stuff bottled and in stores, getting some kegs out into like the local area. Like we were talking with the gentleman who manages the Max hotel.
If I said yes on that, they had huge plans for our stuff. It would have been in all the fish and chips. It would have been a perpetual tap. So that's nice to know. That's
potentially. I think they wanted to get it on, see what the reception was, and then possibly. Anyway, so that kind of stuff, get into some of the local restaurants and things like that. So
the short answer is totally feasible, definitely on our radar, just not quite yet.
Yes.
So,
but excellent question. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Peter, will you let Wendy know you're done? Thank you.
All right. What else do we have going on?
I just got a nose full of CO2 and capsaicin.
Oh, cool. So now everything hurts and your sinuses are completely clear.
Yes.
That's great.
All right. Well, that's a good segue into events.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got the Bourbon and Bacon event at the end of this month. We're taking Raven Master Ish and Health Potion. So that's an event that's going to raise money for Coates the Teen and Kids Closet. So underprivileged kids and teens can come and get clothes that will help them take one burden off of their shoulders. So it's going to be a taste and sip kind of event. So you purchase your tickets, you come, you get to have bites of food from various restaurants, drinks from various drinking establishments, us included. I love these kinds of events.
These are the best.
They're so much fun. You get to try all manner of different things. And of course, everybody is bringing their best stuff, or most representative stuff. So like you're not necessarily bringing Gold Fever to this event, but Raven Master and Ish are
those are very representative.
Yeah.
Those will be good.
So you get a really clear idea of like, this is a place I want to go again.
Yeah.
And they support really fantastic organizations. Thank you, Peter. So we will once again post a link to that after the live. After the live. It was posted last week as well. So if you're like super curious right now and you're not going to remember, if you wait until afterwards, just open up another browser and go to last week's video. There's the comments. There's a link.
Like go to Google and type Bourbon and Bacon Spokane. It's the first link.
There's another good option.
There's a great site called Let Me Google That For You.
Is it called google.com?
No, the site is called Let Me Google That For You. It's like lmgtfy.com. And when somebody asks you a stupid question, you go to that site and you fill that in, and it gives you a small little link, and you hand that to the person. And what that link does is it opens Google, it puts their mouse in the box, types in their stupid question, and pushes enter.
I may need that for uses.
I might have used that more than a few times when being a programmer.
Oh, the snark.
Especially if you use one of those URL shrinking things so that it doesn't look like letmegooglethatforyou.com. It just looks like bit.ly/5836924.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my answer. Let me Google that for you.
Oh, that's delightful.
With great power.
So that's our most upcoming event, like big event. We are doing trivia tomorrow, 6:30.
Oh.
I know.
There goes my night.
I meant to work on it all weekend and I
Uh,
didn't. But it's Captain's theme.
that's gonna be awesome.
So I'm super excited. It's gonna, we've got Captain Janeway, Picard, Kirk,
Freeman, Carter, America, Morgan,
Cisco, Solo. Han
yes.
Solo's a captain.
Yep. Got a whole list of those. Sparrow,
yeah.
Captain.
Yes,
Jack
Captain
Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Captain Planet was on there too.
Yep.
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
I can't believe we didn't remember.
Yes. So yes, all of the trivia, all 3 rounds are going to be captain themed. So I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
This one's going to be fantastic.
As always, the team with the most voted for name wins a gift card, and the team with the most points at the end of the whole rounds gets a gift card. So yes, Captain Jack Harkness, he was on there.
He was. Yep. Face a bow, they say.
Face a bow, they say.
Which captain is the oldest?
I don't know.
Jack Harkness. He's like 4 billion years old.
Oh, that's true. Of course, that's true.
Now I can't ask that one because somebody's going to cheat, but still.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. 6:30. You can be part of a team. You can be solo. We don't take reservations, so just show up. If you're in the tap room at 6:30 on a Tuesday, you're going to be asked if you want to do trivia. So
Yeah.
It's not a big ordeal.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean,
we have been growing steadily on Tuesday nights, so
Yeah.
it may get to the point.
I got more carbonation and capsaicin.
Are you gonna be okay?
I'm not selling this drink right now, am I?
Really not. I think
Well, I
so.
keep holding it up to my mouth to start drinking it, and then go to say something, or I laugh and like get in a.
Maybe that's
Okay.
not the way to. Maybe that's not the way to do that.
I can do it. I is talent.
Yeah, I'm our talent.
I'm our talent. How does eat food?
What in the sky?
Okay.
All right.
So charcuterie stuff.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yep. So
All right.
currently we are dealing with our meat is still the bresaola, which is the whole muscle salami. It's almost like a deep burgundy color. It's so rich, but not terribly heavy.
Little salty.
Little
but,
salty,
pleasantly so.
Little peppery almost.
Yeah.
But not terribly heavy. It's just
Mhm.
really, really, really savory.
Yeah.
It's like if a glass of wine and a salami all had a kid together.
Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it.
It's really good. We also have the Verano
Yes.
cheese, I think it is, which is a really nutty, almost herbaceous cheese. It's kind of got that thyme rosemary thing going on for it. It's really good. And then we finally have the Cabra Romero, better known as the duck fat cheese,
Yay!
back. So it's a really soft sheep's milk
I believe so.
cheese that they then roll in duck fat and then roll again in rosemary. And
It is so.
my, it's phenomenal.
So if you get it on a charcuterie or no nonsense board, we'll take off a lot of the rosemary because nobody likes to chew on evergreen.
It's like chewing on pine needles.
Yeah. But if you get it on the pizza, we leave it on there because as it melts and the duck fat starts to heat up, it kind of fries the needles and cooks them so that they're very pleasant to eat.
Phenomenal.
And that cheese is so good.
Oh
like
my gosh.
it's not usually when we say like sheep's milk or goat's milk, people are thinking of like the like rolled logs that you can get in the grocery store.
The mealy garbage that kind of tastes like goat hair.
Yeah, this is not that.
Ooh.
This one is like it's creamy with a little tang.
Yeah.
It's delightful. So definitely suggest that on the pizza.
Is a sprig of rosemary good in beer? It depends entirely on the beer, but the short answer is sometimes yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it adds just that really fresh Christmas tree. Like, so literally anything from Bellwether, toss a sprig of rosemary in, is probably going to be phenomenal.
Yep.
So
I did a rosemary Perry.
yes,
once.
you did. Should do that again.
I should do that again. That was really early on. We had like just gotten our license to be able to produce and sell. And I released that at Bellwether.
Yes, you did. It was very much their style.
Yeah. It was an
Oh.
Asian Perry.
Like fresh, like we went and picked the Asian pears
Yeah.
off the trees ourselves.
Yeah.
I've
That
never had
poor
Asian
farmer.
pears so good.
That poor farmer. They had just gotten the farm that year.
Yeah, they had.
And the Asian pear crop was massive.
Breaking branches off
Yeah.
the trees type
And so when we
massive.
came in and we were like, hey, we'd like to get like a few 100 pounds. He's like, yes, go.
Take your bins and strip those trees.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
you could just hold the bin under it and just shake the branch and bin's full. Next.
Yeah. So yes, it goes into cider and Perry's very well as
Could
well.
you imagine getting 800 pounds of Asian pears?
Yes.
That would
I
be
can't-
so.
Could you imagine putting them through the chipper?
Yes, I can. You just look at those things that would
I
fill up
know.
a fermenter. Those things are basically water with a really rough skin on them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We need to look into
That
that.
would be so fun.
Talk
I
to
mean, heck, considering we put like grapes through the chipper, I think it'd be fine.
Yeah, we should talk to some of our fruit packing companies and some of the farmers themselves and say, hey, Asian pears, yeah? Am I gonna get me some of
Yeah.
them? That would be so cool.
That would be cool. Perries are fun because not all of the sugars are, well, technically they're not sugars, but they come across as sugars, but they're not edible by the yeast. So even when you ferment a Perry completely dry, there's always going to be a sweet note to it. So
Polysaccharides.
oh, there you go.
Mhm.
You know the science.
Yep. Complex molecules of sugar that the yeast can't eat without help from enzymes. You could ferment that sucker
No, I think this
champagne
is
dry.
I think this is something else. That's not
Really?
actually a sugar.
Interesting. This is
Yeah.
news to me.
I need to go through.
It would still be fun to throw one of those things at it and see if you can't
Oh.
get it down champagne dry.
Well, that would be fun.
But
Okay.
Anyway,
So we've got a little bit of the Havarti left, I think.
if we do, it's minuscule.
Yeah.
I suspect
we
we
might.
depending on what kind of date night we want tonight, we might not have any Havarti left. It's starting to be not quite as fresh.
Yeah.
We don't have any Havarti left.
Okay,
I'm just
that's a
calling
good.
it. We don't
okay,
have
that's
any
a good
Havarti
point.
left,
That's a good
so.
point. Yeah.
Want to only serve good stuff.
Yes.
So.
I mean, we'll eat the like
I-
not quite good.
I don't
stuff.
mind slightly aged Havarti myself, but I don't want to put that on somebody's plate.
Yes. Random recommendation.
Sweet. I've got mine. Do you?
I've got mine too.
Go for it. You ladies first this time.
All right. Unless we talked about this before. Did we talk about Lower Decks?
I don't care. It's a good.
All right, random recommendation. Lower Decks. If you are a Star Trek nerd, Lower Decks is for you. It's on Paramount Plus.
So find a friend who has it and borrow their credentials.
It is a animated Star Trek series, and it's canon. It's canonical.
Which really raises a lot of eyebrows with some of those episodes.
It is made by people who love Star Trek.
Love and respect Star Trek.
And know Star Trek in and out. Because they just have these little tiny references like all sprinkled all throughout. So if you're really into Star Trek, you get that like, oh, there was that thing and it was a part of that movie. But if you're not like super into Star Trek, you still enjoy the show. Because that Mark is the one who you grew up on watching Star Trek.
Oh yeah, love so many happy memories about that.
I watched it a little bit as a kid. My dad enjoyed it, but it wasn't like on all the time. So like I was vaguely familiar with it. And then we got married and he started like, oh, we gotta watch this. And so I've seen a lot of it, but I'm more Star Wars. And so but this they're the perfect amount of irreverence. So it's
kind of beast at Ternaga is, but
so it is about a California class ship. So it's not an Enterprise class. It's like
it's not a Galaxy class. It's not even a Planet class. It's a California class.
And it's not about the bridge crew, and they're very present, but it's about the lower decks crew. So they're the ones that go and they clean the holodeck, and they the ship is the second not
They're the ones who go in for second contact.
second contact
After
that's
the
what
big
it's called.
flagships have gone in for first contact, these guys go in to set up the subspace transponders, make sure they haven't started worshiping the evil computer that they had just been liberated from again. Not naming names, Landrew.
But anyway, and so it's kind of their misadventures, and the cast is fantastic.
Oh, so good.
It's
Such
so
character
good.
development too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would be easy for a cartoon to just be static. This is who the character is, but they grow and they learn, they develop, they become even more misadventurous.
Yes. And they brought in several cameos. They had
Yes.
Riker and Diana Troy and Tom Paris. For sure. I think they had a couple
Yeah,
of
I know there
others.
was a few others too. It can be warp in the factor of 5, 6, 7, 8.
And fun fact, Paramount is doing another Star Trek news show called I can't remember what it's called, but it's coming out in May. And it's a different crew, but it's confirmed, and it's a live action show, and it's confirmed that some of the background secondary characters are going to be the lower decks crew.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like 90% sure that it's actually going to be the voice actors
Oh my gosh.
in these roles.
It's going to be great because so many of the voice actors look their part.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, they just had a con in Chicago where they came in uniform.
Oh,
it was
jeez.
The second in command. What's his name? He was in
Sliders.
Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell.
Yes. So he came, and then the guy who does the voice for Tindy, and the guy from that does Boimler, and the gal that does oh my goodness.
Which one?
She's the captain's Mariner. Yes. Mariner. But
you
yeah,
have to find me that.
I was reading an article today. So random recommendation is Lower Decks. It's phenomenal.
It's hilarious. If we weren't in the middle of another series, I'd say let's just start watching it again.
For the third time.
For the third time.
When we were in Leavenworth, we binged Lower Decks.
Oh my gosh, it was
and then
fantastic.
Started it over because it's so good.
It's that good.
Anyways, your random recommendation.
My random recommendation of the week, and this is highly specialized, and I get that, is the Unity gaming engine. Our son Peter is currently learning video game programming using some really fantastic coursework, and it's in the Unity game engine. And you have to understand, when I was in college, part of my coursework was video game design and building engines for it and building all the graphics and everything for them. And so I had a fair idea of what's at least going on behind the scenes, whether or not they've come farther than that. And so to see this thing work and to see, okay, we're going to set up fun things like, collision. What happens when one thing hits the other? That's what collision means. But in a video game world, it means something exactly the same, just specific. And it's just like a checkbox. You just like turn it on. This thing can run into that thing now. Oh, wow. Such science. Much wow. This is great. And so to watch Peter learn this thing and watch the coursework, which is phenomenal. It's from Udemy, Udemy.
Yes, Glenn just wrote it.
Yep, correct. Glenn just got it right in there. But watching how easy Unity is to use, it's just fantastic. If you want to get into gaming design at all, Unity is the one to do. So I'm just tickled to death because Peter's having a blast. He's really catching on.
So excited about it.
He's really tracking with it pretty well. And he took everything he learned and he says, watch this. And he started up a whole new project in the software. and he started on his own. I'm going to put this here. This is going to be the grass. I'm going to put this here. And he started on his own, making a little critter that drops to the ground because gravity, because that's a checkbox now. And he can run and run into this other block. And he hasn't quite figured out jumping yet because we haven't learned that one yet.
But he'll get there.
But he'll get there. But all by himself, he made a little grass field with a little box that this other box drops on the ground and runs into. You can control it with the arrow keys or an Xbox gamepad because
Of course.
apparently that's a thing now too. So he was really thrilled and he did that all by himself. We learned a lot about programming today, but
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just jazzed.
And the great thing is, even though like these things are checkboxes in this program or in the software, if he decides that this is something he's passionate about and wants to pursue, he can start learning what those checkboxes actually do.
Absolutely.
So it's like it's a stepping stone, really. It's the
Yeah.
getting the overall concept down,
Yeah.
get your brain thinking in the way of programming.
Yes, I am a strong proponent that everybody should take at least basic programming just to understand the thought process. Whether or not you ever do that, whether or not you go into culinary school after that, get some programming under your belt so that you understand the thought process. And
It's at least a good way to make your brain think in a different way. If
Yeah.
if you're like me and that's not brain things.
yeah, it's SQL is another fun one too.
You absolutely
you-
should
you
take the
sh-
plunge.
You should. I will remind me. I've got a few courses I could send you. It's phenomenal work. They take you from how does computer to I'm. It's really well done.
I mean, our 11. So
Right? Yeah, he's going to have 7 games under his belt by the and is ready to write his own.
I'm excited.
It's-
He has been talking about. He's been developing this game since he was 5, 6.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And so he's got this whole like mythos about this world developed, and he's got the levels in mind, and he's got character development done. And
Well, and I, with my 20 plus years of programming, look at what he's designing and saying, yeah, that's solid.
Mhm.
That's really well thought out and well conceived of. I'll help you with the structures behind it, but it's solid.
he's
So,
taking elements from games that he enjoys, and it's like, ooh, I love this part of Mario Odyssey, and I love this part of Stardew Valley, and so I could put them together like this, and then go like that.
yeah.
And so he's not just like, well, we'll have coins, and we'll have a bad guy named Louser, and so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. So that's what I would recommend.
Nice.
I'm strongly considering writing my own game.
You've wanted to write a game for years.
I have.
You should do it.
I should.
Yeah.
I want to write 2 games.
Okay.
I want to write a puzzler
Yes,
because
absolutely.
I loved Myst. I loved
The Witness.
The Witness, and I loved Superliminal.
Mhm.
Those were fantastic
You've
puzzler
been
games,
enjoying the Poirot game too.
and I've thoroughly been enjoying the Poirot. That's a little bit more classic mystery
Mhm.
than it is puzzler, but I still thoroughly loved it. So I want to write a puzzler, and then I want to write something that is designed explicitly to be addictive, because that is how we will retire.
That is how we'll
The addiction cycle is very well documented.
Yeah,
Any
yeah,
psychologist will tell you
yeah.
how it works.
flap.
Yeah, Flappy Bird
Yeah.
follows the addiction cycle. What was that?
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft follows the addiction cycle.
Yep.
Sims to
Yep.
some degree. So I want to build one of those too. So we'll retire off those millions, and then I'll write the game that I always wanted to write, and then I can be done programming.
Meh. There you
It's
go.
like the guy that got a job at some app company,
Yeah.
and the very
I
first
don't know
thing
if
he
this
did
is a
was
true story.
fix the bug that he's been complaining about for years, and then immediately turn around and turn it as 2 weeks.
Okay. Take that story and bump it up. This is free. You can
Is this
listen or
true?
not. This is a true story.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, so there was a town in, I want to say like Connecticut, tiny dinky little town. This is the 60s. It was a mining town, but had the mine had dried up.
I love this story.
Okay, so the mine had dried up. There's like 200 tanks. It's 3 sides are mountains, and then the 4th side is a river, and there's this like crummy, awful suspension, not a car suspension bridge, like you
Like a
walk.
rope bridge.
Yeah. And that's the only way in or out of this town. So like how they got refrigerators into this town is a mystery to me. They probably had a boat. I can't imagine the cost. Anyways, so this town has been petitioning, I think it's Maryland. Anyways, it's been petitioning to its local government, the state government, the federal government for years, trying to get them to build a darn proper bridge that cars can go over in and out of their town. And they were ignored.
At the point they were petitioning, it's like, so we can get off this island because we're all stuck here.
Pretty much, yeah. And well, no, they not all of them.
Well, that's how the article I read made it sound.
Oh, okay.
It's like we're more or less stuck here. We need off.
Yeah, they're stuck and they want to be able to have access to the outside world. And they were ignored for years. And so this is the 60s, height of the Cold War. They contacted the Russian embassy in the United States to apply for foreign aid to try and get this bridge built. And again, middle of the Cold War, the Russians were like, we can humiliate the US with this. So they sent
doing it.
So they sent in reporters and got all of this news coverage of how horrible the US is treating this tiny town. And
which was true.
Which was legitimate. And said, if your own country won't build this bridge for you, we'd be happy to do it for you out of the goodness of our hearts.
To the tune of millions of dollars in the 60s.
Yes.
They were totally going to do it.
The government came in like that and built them a bridge.
Big ol' honkin' multi-lane concrete bridge.
Yes. So they got their bridge.
Frankly, I would have loved to have seen the Russians do it. I mean, I understand things were tense in the Cold War. I understand things are tense now. I truly do. But I think that represents the best of humanity with just enough snark to say you guys can do better, knock it off. They weren't
doing it because they cared about this town.
Nah, but, right thing for the wrong reasons.
I mean, at least the right thing was done.
Yeah.
So, so yes, that was free. I
love stuff like that. Oh, so many good things.
Well, I think we have reached the end. Well, I mean, not the end, but
snort a little bit more of that, then we'll be at the end. It's like one of them weed snorters.
What was that from?
Oh, I have to show you. You're gonna love this.
On live.
Yeah.
On live.
Yep.
Am I supposed to talk to the camera while you're fidgeting with your phone?
I mean, I have to do it all the time, so.
Hush you. Speaking to the camera. So since the beginning of the year, I have desperately wanted to get out sign-up sheets for new t-shirts and sweatshirts. And it has just been one of those things that have been backburnered. But the idea was brought up, and I think it's a really wonderful idea of putting together like a shop online, because you can get you can sign up that there's companies that they will just like print the onesie twosie stuff and send it to you. You just have to provide the designs. And so it would be like this website that you go to for Bardic loot. Now we've been using the term loot for almost 3 years now. And it just now hit me
gosh,
how appropriate that is.
Bardic loot, Lute. Holy cow.
So we're kind of thinking that we might go down that road. If you got some feedback on that would be great, because it'd be super cool. We could upload different styles, I guess, pretty regularly, and you could get. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I imagine there's a lot more flexibility in style of clothing. So, if you want a zip up hoodie or a tank top or something, I think it would be probably easier to get that to you via these sites. And we've got all sorts of ideas. Like I've got the one that I was really like thinking I'm going to like pursue to put out there. Was this basically it would say it'd have the Bardic logo somewhere, but it would say Don't worry, yeast. I'm stressed too. And then maybe have like a cartoon yeasty or something.
Just fretting
Yes.
everywhere. I love it.
Anyway, so throwing that out into the world, if you are interested or have had experience with that, we know some people who have, but like let us know your thoughts. So, okay, what are you showing me? I see a naked cat. That's Ron Swanson in cat form. I'm serious, right? Russian Imperial Vulcan. Yes, that's right. The town was Vulcan.
Oh, that's right.
Name it Vulcan Bridge, a Russian Imperial stout named Vulcan Bridge. Good ideas. Put it in.
Yeah. Okay, putting it in the good ideas
Okay,
right now.
Yes,
All right.
that's an excellent idea, Glenn. Thank you.
Bardic good ideas. Let's just add this to an extremely long list
we have a lot of. I really want to start developing more ciders so I can use some of these names. I have been wanting to use the name Hamanatra forever. Which one? Oh, Saber of Windu was almost named Hamanatra just because I had no name for it and I needed something and I really wanted to use Hamanatra, but it did not fit. And then in my last minute panic, literally I was standing in the tap room with it hooked up to the tap thinking, what in the world am I going to name this thing? That Saber of Windu came to mind.
Super evil vibes.
Super.
That's another name we had on our list.
Where did that come from?
I'm not evil, really, because I'm getting super evil vibes off you right now.
Oh, that's right. Because then we could have 2 drinks named from Lego Movie 2.
All right. Wendy, darling, dinner's almost ready.
My daughter just grabbed the toaster off the fridge, so I think we need to go.
Yes, we should go feed our children.
Yes.
So
thank you all. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We love having you in this sphere, and we love having you in the tap room. So look forward to seeing you around soon.
bye.
Bye.